you today? How's everything? I hope that you've spent this day or this week in a very beneficial, satisfactory way. I hope that you've done something that you feel you're proud of, and not wasted that time doing nothing, feeling like you are just a burden. A burden means like, you depend on others to do something. You feel like you're something heavy or something like not acceptable, okay? Anyway, just I hope that all of you could do something very positive in their lives, because when it comes to feeling positive, it means like you have to deal with it from the inside. Very few people can get positivity from around, and can accept positivity from around, from other people around them. So I hope that you can create your own energy, positive one, of course, okay? So you can deal with this bad, sad, let me say, situation, to be patient enough, to be able to deal with things that are, you're passing through every single day, every single minute, whenever you hear or you listen to the news that are related to the current situation or the present situation, which is about coronavirus and the bad, let me say, rumors and bad news we hear every single minute. I hope you can keep your mind positive and do something after a while, or maybe after like 2-3 months, you will feel like, wow, I could do something great. I could get the advantage of that time. You will not regret it. Okay, you will not feel like, oops, that was time that was useful. Okay, that was time that was, that was gold. Okay, so that you don't have this feeling of you did nothing. Okay, so please try to create your own energy, positive one. Try to do something that you make or that makes you feel worthy. Okay, so that was, I don't know why I wanted to say that for today, but okay, things are fine. Today we are going to continue with our 8th class in New Headway Upper Intermediate. Today we're finishing the unit, so I really wish and hope that you could got everything about it, and you understood it. You now you are able to deal with it and do the exercises very well. I hope that you did the reading, because believe me, the reading was very, very good and full and rich of new vocabs that you need to use. Okay, especially if you are planning to study out. Not even to study out, to have good, storage of vocabulary to help you communicate using a foreign language, English. Okay. Yeah, as I said, like the unit today is going to be about. We're finishing it. It's going to be about, or we're finishing it in using phrasal verbs. Okay, listening and speaking, and also we are going to continue with everyday English if we have enough time. The phrasal verbs we're talking about here, we're going to talk about not phrasal verbs. Okay, they call them in New Headway, they call them Hauptverbs. Hauptverbs that are, verbs that sometimes can be confusing. Okay, like here we are going to talk about make and do. Okay, when to use make and when to use do. Before I go into this idea, or these exercises, I want to talk about phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs, sometimes when we have a verb, okay, and it has little meaning, okay, by itself, then it has more meanings when we add a preposition and an adverb to it. We call this phrasal verb. Like I can use a lot of phrasal verbs, and phrasal verbs, by the way, are very confusing for students because they feel like, I cannot remember them. It's like when you say like look for, look after, okay, look up, okay, look at. So sometimes, and like I gave only very few examples, okay? But when we want to go into a dictionary, and I advise you to go to a dictionary, Oxford dictionary. There is a version, okay, which is about phrasal verbs, okay? Oxford phrasal verbs dictionary, which is so good. So I advise you to download it or to buy it, you know, paper dictionary. Yeah, so today I want to give you like an idea about take, okay? I brought some, actually these phrasal verbs are not in the book, okay? So you can watch and check them and memorize as many as you can, okay? Because phrasal verbs are very common. Okay, so sometimes when you say look for, the equivalent is search, okay? So here it's not that, you will say like, okay, I will say search. Search. Why should I memorize all these phrasal verbs? Because they are very common in English, okay? And you need to learn them, at least like, you know, like you choose a verb like go, okay? And the verb, or a verb like take or look or get, okay? These very common verbs, and I try to every day to make it as a challenge or as a task to remember or to memorize 4 or 5 or 10. It depends on your time, on what you want, on how much you are interested, okay? But it's very important and essential to learn like from 5 to 10 phrasal verbs every day, okay? And try to replace the words you know by phrasal verbs, as I said before. Like when you replace search with look for, you will remember it, because only practice and training can make your memory stronger. Yeah, so I brought some cards, let me say. We will check them, every card by itself, and speak a little bit about the meaning of this phrasal verb. All the cards about take, okay? Are you ready? Let's start, and then we are going to continue with the verbs make and do, and the difference, and what to use with make and what to use with do. Okay? Let's start. Okay, guys. So the first phrasal verb we have with take is take after. Okay, as you can see in the card, take after means like behave like or resemble, which means like, you know, when someone in the family, okay, behaves like the mother or the father, so we say that, okay, he takes after his mother, or, you know, he's just you know, behaving the same. Let's go to the second one, which is take apart. Take apart, take into pieces or to pieces when you have something and, you know, try to make it like, you know, in many parts, not one. Okay, take away, we have, it can mean, or it can be remove, subtract, okay? Take away something means like remove or subtract. Subtract like, you know, minus or something like this, okay? Next we have take back. Take back means like react, remind of earlier times, withdraw. Also like, yeah, retract or withdraw means like, you know, when you say something, okay, and then you take it back. So, you know, you say like, no, I want to apologize, or you don't want to continue with this, so you withdraw, or you try to take back. Also, when you remind of something earlier or early times, okay, when you remember the past. Next we have take down. Take down when you mean like, okay, I'm giving, by the way guys, I'm giving only very few meanings, okay, but it could be like more. Demolish, and also it can be humiliate, and it can be write down, okay, this is to take down something, or write down like record something, okay. Then we have take off. Take off is to leave the ground when like the plane takes off. Also we have remove. You know, remove, of course, and when it means like imitate like to do the same thing that, you know, another person is doing. And also we have deduct, okay, which means like, you know, to make a decision about something and take it for granted, or, you know, just not to change his mind again. Take on means to employ, accept, and acquire. Take out is to pull out, to remove, to vent, to get, and also it means to get. Vent is means when like somebody's angry, okay, and he's speaking loudly and shouting and taken out of me. That means like, this is like when I mean like by just he's taking out his temper on me. So that means like, he's making, he's feeling bad. So he's shouting at me, but I'm not the one who's accused, okay? But, because he's angry or she's angry. Now let's continue with take over. When I say to you like, hi, I'm so tired today. Can you take over for today? Can you continue this the job? Okay, so to continue the job or to assume control of something. Okay, take up means to occupy, raise, adopt a new hobby. Okay, like I've been feeling bored lately, so I'm taking up tennis. Could be. Okay, so to start a new hobby. The last one I have is to take aside. Take aside is like to take to one side. Let me say that you want to speak to somebody privately. You don't want anybody to hear what you want to say to him, so you take him aside. So like when you say take her aside and break the news gently, okay, it means like try to make it to soften the news on her. Okay, yeah. So this is what I wanted to say about take. I know it's like we have more, okay, way more phrasal verbs about take, but this is like the most common ones. You can check the dictionary, you can to look them up, and also you can create your own dictionary about phrasal verbs and go for the ones that are most common, okay, most used. And you will find yourself like learning a lot of new words, okay? And don't forget to write their meanings, okay? Or to write a sentence that can explain the meaning to you. Don't take the phrasal verb and write it down on your notebook if you're making a dictionary and leave it. No, put it with a sentence or with a meaning one word equivalent, okay? Yeah, that's what I wanted to say about take. And about these cards. By the way, you can have a lot of them. Just go to Google if you want, okay? Now, let's start the exercises about make and do, okay? We have words that we use with make and words that we use with do. You will say, how can I differentiate? How can I remember them? The only way is to practice them and to memorize by heart, okay? Like when you say decision, it's making a decision, not doing a decision, okay? But when you talk about, let me say, favor, do favor, okay? Do a favor for somebody, okay? So now let's go for them. I want to go to the first exercise and let's do it, okay? As you can see, the number one, they say there are many expressions with make and do. Look at these examples for the text, okay, on page blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the sentences are plastic makes our lives easier, okay, if you remember what we took last class. Bags and bottles make up most of the plastic garbage. 70 local volunteers were doing their best to remove tons of garbage. Okay, and the last one was like in Bangladesh, they have done away with plastic bags. Okay, so we are going to search and to look them up in the dictionary. And I think that you've done that, so no need to repeat ourselves here. Let's go to number two. Put these words in the right box. We have some expressions and words and verbs. I don't think it's a verb, okay, and we have make and do. We have to classify the words we have, okay, in the two columns, the one that are related to make and the one that are related to do. The expressions are a good impression, research, a good job, business, profit, loss, degree, arrangements, your best, an effort, decision, start, move, somebody's this SP, somebody's a favor, difference, something clear, and a suggestion. So how can we make this, how can we differentiate? Of course, you have to go to the dictionary to remember them and to memorize them and to know, okay? And then by practice, they become a piece of, like a piece of cake, very easy to be used, very easy to be, you know, classified, okay? And then you will not, by practice, you will not even think like, what should I use here? Make or do, take or make, you know, so just it's because of practice. So let's go for practice. Do you want a minute to do it or no? Which one? Yeah. So here, let me talk about, you know, first the words we use with make. They are decision, good impression. So we can say make a decision, make a good impression, arrangement, difference, profit or loss, start, move, clear, effort, and suggestion, okay? While the other words can go to do, okay? Yeah, so, yes, okay, the other words can go for do, okay? Like do something up, okay? Also, we can, yeah, okay. Business, okay, we can go to favor, difference, okay. Also, I can talk about the other word, which is best, good job, and research, okay. So I don't know if I mentioned research, but you know, this is the words we use with do and the words we use with make, okay. Exercise 3, they are asking us here to complete the sentences with some of the expressions in exercise 2, okay? And then after that, we are going to listen and check if our answers are correct or wrong, okay? The sentences are, okay, is it clear for you guys here? Yes, okay, it's below the schedule. Yes. When you go for a job interview, it's important to what? Okay? In order not to waste time, let's go for the listening, okay, to check and to know what to write here, but I want to read them first. Number 2, I think we're all getting tired. Can I blah, how about a break? A lot of blah has been blah into the causes of cancer. I think the director is basically, he's reliable, he's honest, and he gets results. I'd like to right now that I am totally opposed to this idea. Then we have exercise, number 6, right, I think we should, and get down to business. Number 7, I don't mind if we go now or later, it, no, or to me. I can get this. Could you, me, and lend me some money? Okay, so let's go now to the listening, okay, and check what we did here. Are you ready? Okay. It's track 2.5. Let's listen.
Tape script 2.5.
Yeah.
1. When you go for a job interview, it's important to make a good impression.
Make impression, okay? To make a good impression. 2.
2.
I think we're all getting tired. Can I make a suggestion? How about a break?
Can I make a suggestion?
3.
A lot of research has been done into the causes of cancer.
Done into, huh? I wanted to notice into here.
4.
I think the director is basically doing a good job.
Doing a good job.
He's reliable, he's honest, and he gets results.
Yeah.
5.
I'd like to make it clear right now that I am totally opposed to this idea.
Totally, okay, I want to make it clear right now that I'm totally opposed to this idea.
6.
Right. I think we should make a start and get down to business.
Get down to start.
7. I don't mind if we go now or later. It makes no difference to me.
Okay, it makes no difference for me. Okay, it doesn't matter if we do this or this.
8.
Could you do me a favour and lend me some money?
Could you do me a favor? Okay, so could you do me a favor and lend me some money? This is what we wanted to talk about. This is what what exercise 3 was about. Let's go to exercise 4. Okay, because we don't have to waste a lot of time. Okay, exercise 4: match the lines in A with the lines in B. Underline the expressions with make or do. Okay, so let's read them, guys. Okay, let me just move this. Yes. Okay. A. She's made a big time as an actress. Okay. I'm reading A only, and then will never make the airport in time. What does she do for a living? You'll all have to do more overtime and work. Weekends. How much do you want to borrow? 20 euros or 20 pounds, I think, 20 pounds. How much Spanish do you speak? And I hear the boss said you've done really well. While exercise B, we say like she's a corporate lawyer. Corporate lawyer is a lawyer who works for a company, okay? Well, I can make myself understood. Yeah, it really made my day. The traffic's too bad. Then we have she can command $20 $20 million. Yes, a movie. Great, that'll do fine. And then we have that. Okay, that does it. I'm going to look for another job. Okay, I'm sorry for the reading, but it's not to you. The PDF is going to take the full screen, but for me it's very let me say like it's a very small box. Okay, so but I insist on reading them before we continue. So now let's continue. It's track 2.6 to check the matching. While I think like to you it's like clear now. It's 2.6. Okay. Let's listen.
Tape script 2.6. 1.
She's made the big time as an actress. She can command $20 million a movie.
Okay, so now they could do it. She's made a big time as an actress. Okay, and she can command $20 million per movie or a movie.
$20 million? Nobody's worth that.
2.
We'll never make the airport in time. The traffic's too bad.
Okay, we'll never make the airport. Okay, that means we will not get or arrive to the airport at the right time. We'll never make it means like we cannot do it. Okay?
Look, I think it's starting to move.
3. What does she do for a living?
She's a corporate lawyer.
Oh, that sounds boring.
Boring it may be, but it's really well paid.
Okay.
4.
You'll all have to do more overtime and work weekends.
That does it. I'm going to look for another job.
Leave if you like, but it's the only way this business will survive.
5.
How much do you want to borrow? £20?
Great, that'll do fine.
Just pay it back when you can. No hurry.
6. How much Spanish do you speak?
Well, I can make myself understood.
Really? You sound pretty fluent to me.
7.
I hear the boss said you'd done really well.
Yeah, it really made my day.
But did you get a bonus as well as a compliment?
No, just a pat on the back.
Okay, guys, so that was everything about exercise 4. I wanted to say something about using make and do, okay, that can sometimes help you remember okay, when to use it, or if you are so confused, we should know that make is mostly used when we are talking about producing or performing or creating something, okay? Also, it talks about producing an action or a reaction. He makes me laugh, okay? This is the example. Also, we can use it with the plans and decision, make a decision. Speaking and sounds, okay? And also we can talk about food and drink, like make hot chocolate, or you can say make dinner, lunch, breakfast, whatever. Okay, so these meanings can help me choose make or do. While do is used about something that is not specified, or a job that is not specified, like what are you going to do, or what do you do on the weekends, or something like you're not sure what it is about. Also, we can talk about, you know, a job to be done or a task to be done. See, to be done, not to be made. Okay, so here we can go for do more than make. Okay, guys, so that was exercise 6. Now, okay, I want to talk about. Okay, if you notice here, we're going to continue with the phrasal verbs. Sorry, not 4. It was track 6. Okay, but exercise 4. While exercise 5 is about phrasal verbs, as I said. Let's continue. Complete the sentences with a phrasal verb with do. Okay, we have do away with something, we have do without something, we have could do without something, and we have do something up. Okay, and we have 4 sentences here. I'm so thirsty, a cup of tea. Okay, number 2 is we've bought an old flat, we're going to blah over the next year. Number 3, I think we should. The monarchy, they're all useless and expensive. Expensive? Okay. I could never. My personal assistant, she organizes everything for me. It's track 2.7. Let's listen to it. And check all the answers you want. What's wrong with me today? I don't know.
1.
I'm so thirsty. I could do with a cup of tea.
I could do with a cup of tea. That means I need it badly. I need it very much. Okay? 2.
2. We've bought an old flat. We're going to do it up over the next few years.
Do it up. Do something up is to repair it or redecorate it or do something to change the style. Okay? So he's doing the flat up.
3.
I think we should do away with the monarchy. They're all useless and expensive.
Okay.
4.
I could never do without my personal assistant. She organizes everything for me.
Okay, so I couldn't do anything without her. That means I could never do anything. Okay, so I need her badly because she does everything for me. Yeah, that was about exercise 5. I hope that you write these phrasal verbs down and try to memorize them. Try to write your own sentences and examples. It's like when you say, like, I could do with a cup of coffee. I could do with, with a dairy. I could do with my mobile phone. I could. So it means like you need it so much. I'm traveling for like 6 months. And I've planned to do up the flat, or to do the flat up and have it redesigned, decorated. Okay. By the way, you don't have to say redesigned and redecorated if you are using the word done it up or do it up. Yeah, these are the phrases we talked about. Also, we have like do away with something. Okay. Yeah, that's everything. I think that's everything. Okay. Now let's continue to exercise 6. Okay, do the same with these phrasal verbs, also with make. Okay, so the previous ones were about do. Now let's move to make. Also, we have 4 sentences and 4 expressions. Make something up. make up for something, and make of somebody, also make of, okay, with something. You know that when we have single of, so the word is pronounced of, and when we have double of or double f, the word is pronounced as of, okay? Of and off, okay? Think of, okay? Take off, okay? So you have to know when to pronounce v and f, okay? Let's continue. This number one, thieves broke into the castle and jewelry and antique paintings. 2, Jake's parents buy him loads of toys. They're trying to always being at work. Number 3, what do you, the new boss? I quite like him. And the last one, you didn't believe his story, did you? He, the whole thing. Okay? Let's listen. It's track 2.8, okay? And check your answers. I think they are clear, you know?
Tape script 2.8. 1. Thieves broke into the castle and made off with jewelry and antique paintings.
Made off, which means steal, okay?
2.
Jake's parents buy him loads of toys. They're trying to make up for always being at work.
Make up for, it's like, you know, when you are away, like his parents are away and they are at work most of the time. So there are things that they need to do at specific time. So they do it later, okay, to make things, okay, to what we say that like to compensate, okay, because here they are away at work most of the time. So they buy him toys to compensate their absence, okay?
3. What do you make of the new boss? I quite like him.
What do you make of? Make of. Opinion. Think.
4.
You didn't believe his story, did you? He made the whole thing up.
Create. Lie. Not true. False. Okay? So make up a story or an excuse or a reason, or a story is just like, you know, he's always late. Okay? And every time he makes up something, okay? So he's creating a new excuse or a different excuse, okay? So that was everything about this page, okay, guys? It's everything related to vocabulary. I know it took more than, you know, like half an hour, but it's very important to learn about phrasal verbs, because I know from my students that it's so confusing. Sometimes, you know, they can't remember if it's like, is it do up or do with or do up with, or, you know, things like that. But as I said, practice training is the only thing that gonna make this as a piece of cake, and you're gonna be fluent using them. You will say like, why should I? Because as I said, it's very common in English to use phrasal verbs more than, you know, their equivalents and or the meanings. Okay, try, why not? And every time make it a challenge to memorize at least five new phrasal verbs. Okay, now let's move to everyday English, the last page in our unit. Are you ready? Okay, check it. Okay, guys, now let's continue with talking about places. If you are, you know, new to a place and you want to describe this place to a friend or to some father, mother, you know, anyone, so you should first talk about where is it and how it looks, or what is it like, okay? You need to describe the place. If you get lost, okay, in a place, how to get directions and how to go out of this place and how to ask for help, okay? In the beginning, in exercise number 1, we have the question, where is it exactly, okay? So we want to ask about directions here and how to go or how to get that place. look at the ways of describing location. What preposition goes with each set of phrases? We have 3 sets of phrases here, and we have a preposition to be used with each one. Okay, the first set is the middle of nowhere, the heart of the countryside, the far south of Japan, and the French quarter of the city. And the preposition that is good to all these phrases is in. So in the middle of nowhere, in the heart, in the far, in the French quarter. Okay. Now the second one is the outskirts of the city, the beach by the sea, the bank of the river, and also the edge of the forest. And here we have the preposition on to be used with these expressions. The last one is from the word top, you know that it's at the top of the mountain, at the corner of the street, at the back of the hotel, and at the end of the track. Okay, so in, on, at to be used with these expressions. Try to memorize them, try to know, because most students say like, I don't know what preposition to use. Some students say like in the corner or at the corner. Some students get confused between on the bank or at the bank of a river. You know, bank of the river, you know, the 2 edges of the river, the sides of the river. Okay, and then like since I have the word middle, I know that it's in, but for the heart, okay, like is it at the heart of the countryside or in the heart of the countryside? And the most suitable one here is in. Okay, exercise 2, we are going to listen to 4 people talking about places they have been to. Where are they, and what places are they talking about? Are you ready to listen? This is guys, exercise 2.9. okay, let's listen to them.
1. I'll never forget my first trip to Giza and the sight of those massive stone structures. They stand just on the edge of the desert, taking you back to the time of the pharaohs. But they're surprisingly near to modern buildings too. I kind of expected them to be right in the middle of nowhere.
Could you get the place? She talked about Giza, she talked about nowhere, she talked about desert, about pharaohs. So could you get the place? What she talked about, or the place she talked about? Yes, it's the pyramids of at Giza in Egypt. Okay, she's talking about the pyramids. Now let's move to the second one.
2. It's a brilliant city. We did a city tour on the first day to get a feel for the place, starting at the Reichstag. There's a viewing terrace right at the very top of the building where you get incredible views of the surrounding area. We stayed on the old east side of the wall. Even though it's been unified since 1989, there is a different feel to the 2 halves of the city.
Unified, 2 different parts of the city. They're talking about Berlin. Okay, so here this person has been to Berlin.
3.
We were staying on the outskirts of the city, so we only had a day for sightseeing. We began at the Capitol building and walked the 2 miles to the Lincoln Memorial at the other end of the mall. It's a kind of...
First, they're talking about a mall, okay?
Of national park with gardens and lots of important museums.
National park, gardens, a lot of museums.
Like the National Museum of American History.
The National Museum of American History. I think, you know, it's getting close, okay? So they're talking about the mall in Washington, D.C. Okay, they're talking about the mall in Washington, D.C. Next.
4.
Oh, I wouldn't have missed it for the world. It really is one of India's must-see destinations. It's
India, okay? So it's one of the most Indian, you know, let me say, headed destinations.
a magnificent white building right on the bank.
White buildings.
So the river.
Next to the bank of the river.
So you get wonderful reflections in the clear water.
Wonderful reflection. Okay, is it close now?
We also spent some time in Jaipur. I love the colourful streets in the very heart of the old city.
Okay, the Taj Mahal of Agra is what they are talking about, or what he is talking about the place he has been to, he's talking about the amazing, spectacular experience he had to India. Okay, by the way, Taj Mahal is one of the most beautiful places in the world. Okay, it's nice. The reflection of the palace or of the place, all of it on water is, is really like a wonder. Okay, so I don't know why, I like this place. Not, to be in India, but the place is amazing. Now let's go to the third exercise. Okay, they asked us to listen again and to continue these sentences. Okay, listen again and complete the lines. They stand just. I kind of expected them to be right, blah. This is in 1, okay? 2, there's a viewing terrace, right? Okay, then we were staying. Number 4, it's magnificent. White building, right? I love the colorful streets. Okay, let me check if we have, I lost it. Okay, guys. Oh, come on. Yeah. Okay, and then let's listen again and check. Do you need to listen again? I think that, in number 1, they are talking about on the edges of the desert, the edges of the desert. And then she said, I kind of expected them to be right in the middle of nowhere. Then they talked about number 2, they were talking about the terrace. Okay, right at the very top of the building. Then in number 3, they were staying on the outskirts of the city. Okay. Number 4, the magnificent white building right on the banks of the river. Okay. And then they talked about the colorful streets in the very heart of the old city, very heart, like in the middle, in the core, so this is what they talked about. Okay. What is related to exercise 3. Now, let's move to exercise 4. I'm going too fast, right? Okay, sorry for that, but I don't think we need to explain more than this. It's now you who should listen at home and do this and try to catch and spot the words that are very important to memorize and to listen to. Like, it's I know, like, from the first listening, it's so difficult to get the expressions like at the edges of the desert. Okay, just at the edges of the desert, like, in the very let me say, in the very heart of the city, old city. It's like, these expressions to be memorized. Okay, I can't say in the middle of the city, but to say, the very heart of the old new city is something like expressive more, or more expressive, more beautiful, more fluent, more natural, more English. Okay, so let's go for the expressions that we learn from here to be used in our daily language. In exercise 4, okay guys, what is it like? What is it like? They are talking about read the 2 texts about the same hotel complex. Where would you find such texts? Complete them with words from the boxes. The boxes are 15 minutes, 360 degrees, 20 square, 14 night, and 4 bedroom. Okay, let's check the text here. Okay, let's read the first text. They said, enjoy. The first answer is 14 nights stay in our magnificent hotel complex set in a 20 square mile area of coastal parkland. Our luxury suites give 360 degrees views of the surrounding area and access to our private beach. Also available are 4-bedroom villas on the self-carrying basis. Also, we have number 5. All this just 50-minute drive from the airport. This is about what was about, you know, the first text. The second text, I will continue. The words are written to the on the left. Okay, I must say I found your brochure somewhat misleading. Misleading, that means like I couldn't understand it. So he took wrong directions. He got wrong places because of the brochure wasn't that clear. Sadly, our expectations of, this is number 6, of 5-star luxury accommodation were not met. That means, guys, like they didn't, it wasn't what they expected. When I say my expectations weren't met, okay, that means like not as I expected. Or then we have the travel time to and from the airport was affected by roadworks and 20-mile and a 20-mile an hour speed limit. Okay, then we have, this meant that it was at least a 2-hour journey each way. Although the view from our suite was impressive, you failed to mention the 100-meter tall wind turbines all along the coast, which spoil the beauty. And then we have, we were expecting access to your private beach to mean a 5-minute stroll. Instead, we had to walk miles to reach the sea. Okay, so they expected 5 minutes to stroll like, you know, slow walking. Okay, not in a hurry and not very, very slow. So they expected to get the beach in 5 minutes. But it seemed like it's so far from the accommodation, from the suite, and they had to walk miles. Okay, so their journey and their accommodation wasn't satisfactory, and they were nagging about this. Okay, guys, now let's continue to exercise 5. Work in groups, guys, like if you are in a classroom. But I wanted to check the bubble down. I'd love to have a 4-bedroom holiday home by a lake in the heart of the countryside. You would say, like, we have expressions like a 4-bedroom holiday or a holiday with 4 bedrooms. Okay, so guys, here, like when we have the 4-bedroom before the noun, okay, we keep the singular form. Okay, it's a 2-hour journey, or it's a journey with 2 hours. Okay, it's like the same idea when I say like it's a car with 2 doors, it's a 2-door car. Okay, the house has 3 bedrooms, it's a 3-bedroom house. Okay, this is like how another way to express adjectives. Okay, now here it's you who should practice talking about holiday. Like the same person here, when he mentioned the experience they had in the accommodation, it was like bad to him. It wasn't that, you know, satisfactory. It wasn't relaxing. Okay, the only good thing they mentioned is the view from their suite, but again they talked about something that prevented, you know, a clear view, you know, from the suite. Also, it's now you who should practice how to say these sentences, okay, or to talk about experiences, like to have a holiday home, to spend a relaxing weekend, or have a picnic on a summer's day, or escape from the world for a month. So which one would you love to do? Which one are you interested in? Like, is it to have a holiday home, like to stay at home and do nothing but just enjoy doing nothing? Okay, we call it enjoy doing nothing. And then like spend a relaxing weekend, could be like for 2 days, or have a picnic on a summer's day, like you know, to take 2-3 days off and summer and have something to do, and escape from the world for a month, to travel to an area. Or sometimes we have the word, we say off the beaten track. Off the beaten track is a new place that, you know, not a lot of people go and visit and see. So this is very important to check or to see, guys, okay? Or to talk about these experiences. I think that none of you now wants to stay in a holiday home, okay? Or have a holiday home because you have been doing this, or you've been in a holiday home for like now 20 days, I think almost 20 days, which is so boring and, you know, exhausting and depressing, okay? You need to be very patient to stand, you know, a home holiday. Like when I say holiday home, like it's like to stay for 3-4 days, a week at maximum, okay? But to stay for 20 days, and you know, we are still counting the coming days, like you know, so it's a little bit you know, it's a little bit so it's not that amazing to think of. Relaxing weekend, yeah, for 2 days, if you are, you know, like just to go to for, let me say, to the beach for 2 days, or to stay in a suite for 2 days, or to go to, I think to you know, escape from the world for a month. It's like, this is to do something completely nice in a new place. For me, I'd like to go to a spa, you know, and try new experiences, and jump off a mountain maybe, or also jump off a plane. Things that are risky, but I don't know why I would go for something like this. Maybe when I'm there, I won't do it. But, you know, sometimes just your imagination can help you go away. And, you know, think of something, could be risky, but, you know, somehow you need to get rid of the fear you have inside of, you know, if I fear like high places, why don't I go to a high place? And, you know, jumping off a plane and, you know, parachuting is something really, really exciting, you know. And I think of this because whenever I see this on TV, or, you know, on documentaries, or, you know, videos on YouTube, I feel like I want to do it. So it's enough to feel like I want to do it, okay? It's enough to have these amazing feelings. But I need to be pushed. I will not jump myself, okay? Then let's go to this, the last exercise in our unit, which is, guys, let me check. No, we have to. We still have like spoken English, which is adding emphasis. Adding emphasis, like, you know, when you make things more stressed, something like this, okay? So we have track 2.10 to listen and check our gaps here. But first, let me read the question. Look at the sentences in exercise 3 again. So to go back to exercise 3 again, and notice how right, just, and very add emphasis, okay? Use them to complete the description. Here, guys, if you want your language to be so expressive, like you say, like, I like English, fine. I do like English, so this is like I added more emphasis, okay? Just right now, I can't say right now, but I said just right now, so, you know, it gives my speech more emphasis and more meaning, okay? So let me listen now to track 2.10. They said, like, we rented a flat in the center. The Grand Canal was blah at the end of the street. It was wonderful to be in the heart of the city. So let's listen to it. Are you ready? It's short.
Tape script 2.10.
We rented a flat right in the centre. The Grand Canal was just at the end.
Right in the center. Exactly. Okay?
Of the street. It was wonderful to be in the very heart.
Was okay. Just at the end of the street.
Out of the city.
Okay, and just to be in the heart of the city. Sorry, left. Okay. Again.
It was wonderful to be in the very heart of the city.
Very heart of the city. Very heart, okay? We talked about this before. Now let's go to exercise Okay, try to add these phrases to make your sentences more expressive. Exercise 6, we have also a track. How do you get there? How do you get there? How do you arrive to the place? If you are in a new place, how to ask for directions and how to follow instructions to get where you want, okay? Listen to 3 conversations. What is the problem in each one? Okay, so let's listen. This is track 11. Okay, guys, let's listen to their problem, to these to 3 problems, and let's figure them out.
Tape script 2.11.
I'll stop after each one. Ready?
11. 1.
Hello?
Hi Leo, we've just stopped for petrol. The sat-nav is programmed and we'll be on our way again soon.
Great, but I wouldn't rely on GPS to find us. We really are in the middle of nowhere.
Oh.
Use the sat-nav as far as the village of Lower Borton.
Uh-huh.
Then head towards the village hall. There's a sign just before the river.
Right.
Go over the bridge and follow the road round the bend. It's quite narrow, so there's a 20-mile speed limit.
Mm-hmm.
Right, carry on along that road for about a mile, and there's a sharp turn to the left.
Okay.
That's the track down to the house. Drive right to the end of that track, and that's where we are.
Gosh, that sounds a bit complicated.
You'll be fine. It's only about a 15-minute drive from the village. Ring again if you get lost.
The first problem, that the person being visited lives in the middle of nowhere, okay? So we have a girl who's calling the man. The girl is lost, okay? She needs the instructions or the directions from the man. Because she wasn't able to use the sat nav. Then he told her all how to get there, but to her it seemed so complicated and so let me say misleading, okay, somehow, but complicated. I'll go to complicated more. Then he said, like, it's 15 minutes to drive by car from the village. He told her to ring again in case she gets lost. Okay, so the problem that the girl couldn't use, the sat van. Okay, and the boy gave her instructions. They were complicated. Okay, let's move to the second person.
2.
Excuse me. Sorry. How do I get out of here? I'm completely lost.
Yeah, this place is a bit of a maze. So, to get to reception, go along this corridor to the end and turn right. Go past the photocopiers, then through the design department. There are some stairs on your left, or the lift is just through the double doors, okay?
Oh, yes, I think so. So, it's to the end of the corridor and left.
No, right.
Yes, yes, that's what I meant.
Good, good. Well, you know what? You can always ask again if you lose your way.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so the woman got lost in an office building and the man, he said, agreed, yeah, the employee, he's an employee there. He said, yeah, this place is like a mess and it's not easy to get out. Then he told her how to get out of the place. And again, she, couldn't remember all the details he gave her. So she tried to repeat them and she said some of them in the wrong way. And then he told her to ask again on the way out in case she gets lost, okay? She seemed confused and embarrassed. Now, let's go to the last one.
3.
Phil, I think we're going the wrong way. We walked past that statue about 10 minutes ago.
Don't panic, Andrea. I was born here. I know this place like the back of my hand.
Oh, heard that one before.
Sorry?
No, nothing. But I just want to find the pub before they stop serving lunch.
It's fine. We just go across the square and it's one of the roads on the right.
Oh, my feet are killing me.
It's only about a 5-minute walk. Just a bit further on and then on the right. Yeah, this is it. Yeah. Oh.
Phil, this is a hairdresser's.
Yes, thank you, Andrea. I can see that. I'm sure it's around here somewhere.
Okay.
Let's go back to the square.
Or we could just check on my phone. It does have GPS, you know. Phil? Phil!
Okay, Phil thinks that he can arrive, or he knows the direction to the pub, while Andrea was so tired walking, and walking and walking, and they couldn't get the place. He said, like, I know the place that, like, I was born here, so I know the place like the back of my hand. Okay, so he means like I know it very well. Then they got lost, okay, again, and they arrived at a hairdresser following like Phil's instructions, and then like she got bored and she told him, like, come on, I have GPS in my phone, it works, so why don't we get directions from it? And then he didn't give any answer, but I think she should have done that earlier, just to use her GPS, not to follow Phil's instructions anyway. Sometimes it's bad to follow, to listen to others and not to do what you think it's right. Okay, so that was everything about for today's class, and I hope that you listen again and you find all the answers, and you try to improve your listening by writing down the tracks, okay, or what you hear, and or details or main ideas. It's something very useful. In exercise 7 here, they said listen to the conversation 1 and 2 again and make notes of the directions. So it's to listen, as what I was talking about, to listen to the tracks again and try to write directions. I know that giving directions is so hard, and following instructions or directions that are given to us is something complicated, because it's different from culture to culture, by the way, and you need to know everything about the culture you're visiting. That was everything for today. I hope you enjoyed that. We finished our 2nd unit, and next we are going to move to the 3rd one next session, which is going to be about, I think, books, something like this, okay, and reviews. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe, stay patient. God bless you all. See you. Bye-bye.